Now, when we log in and we're on our website, if we come up here to the dashboard, you get the sitemap option. You also get the files and the file manager option. If we click on files, we would come through to this page here. Now, this recurs when you're on the website. If you're editing and you try and upload something, or you're editing a block and it prompts you, it may pop up this block, the file manager, and it is something you want to be familiar with. It's where we upload all of our files. Now, because the website's on the internet, obviously, you need to make sure that any images that you have on your computer that you want to put on your website are uploaded to the website. Now, in advance of doing any uploading, they're going to be on a website, and images, whilst even if the website system processes them for you, they do need to be downsized. When you take an image on your camera, it will be huge in the number of pixels. It will be much larger than the screen on your computer. It's sort of megapixels, that's why it's called that. So if we then tried to upload an image from our camera, it would be absolutely massive, and it would be a waste. It would slow down the website, and it also is going to take, depending on your internet connection, a while to upload it to the website. And some images may be sufficiently large that the website, as a matter of protection, will not let you upload them. So you need to follow the tutorial. There is a tutorial on the website about resizing images. If you're familiar with this, that's fine. And you also need to make sure that the same applies if you get files from a designer or a photographer. Just get them to make them web friendly, downsize them, and generally, making them no larger than 1280 pixels, to pick a random number, and smaller, and making them 72 dpi is important. They'll know what they're doing. And then we get to a position where we can upload them. Now, in our file manager, we can do a number of things. We can search up here where it says keywords. So wherever we're editing, we can just press search, and it's refreshless, and it brings up the file title, which is why it's very useful to make sure you retitle files before you upload them. If they're all sort of meaningless camera names and so forth, it's going to get very confusing. Now, we can search for our images, but once you've searched, that search will stay applied unless you clear out the search and you research, as it were. So we've now done this, and our images are here. Now, in a similar way to on a Windows or a Mac, you can reorder things by clicking on the file headings here, the column headings. So we can reorder by title, alphabetically, and then reverse alphabetically, by the date added, which tends to be the most useful, by the date active, which is not something one really uses. It depends how often you edit your site. By the file size, can be helpful, but these things are useful things to look at, and by the type. So you may see that documents are relevant. In this case, we only have one file type because they're all images. But if this is where you would upload documents, PDFs, and all sorts. Now, the other thing we can do with files once they're uploaded is we can add them to a file set, which we'll do in a second, which will appear up the top, and that's effectively creating folders for files on your website, so you can keep everything nice and tidy. You can put all your images in portfolio, and you can put your documents in documents, and it is worth doing because it does help. And if we've built the site, there will be existing file sets in place, and they should hopefully be appropriately named, things like slides and portfolio, for instance. Another thing to note is you can customize this view. So we're going to come out here to customize results, and it can be quite handy to get rid of the things that you don't want, depending on the size of your screen. I certainly don't want active, and I'm going to take away type because they're all the same at the moment. But I could add height and width, which is rather useful, and I can also move these around. So there's lots of things you can do, and I'm going to save that because we don't want to get too deep. But this now is telling me the size of my images, which is very useful, and to my mind much more useful than it was before. Now, we're in the file manager, and the main thing we want to do here generally is upload or replace files. Firstly, to upload files, we're going to click on the upload files up here. And that will offer us a pop-up, a sort of fairly old school method of navigating to find our files. There is another way, however. I off screen have a little folder. Let me see if I can, oh, there we go. Open it and drag it here. It's some stock photos. Now these have been resized, and what I can do is I can in fact just drag that onto our file manager, and it knows what it wants to do, and it's uploaded it. Now once it's uploaded it, it's giving me the title. Now I can retitle this. An image title isn't actually as relevant as it may seem on the web. It depends how it's used, but often it's not visible. But it always makes good sense to title it something clear. So I'm just going to go upload. Okay. Now I've decided that I'm going to add a lot of images, and I want to file them all in a folder. So we have sets here, and I'm going to add a set now. Add set. I'm going to click add set again, and I'm going to go wilderness. I'm going to go save. It's having a think, which it will be prone to do. Oh, well, this is less than ideal, but then what will happen here? So if it hangs, this is the connection with the internet, is something's going on. So I'm just going to close that down. Now it's continuing to refresh and it's circling. So if that happens, what's happened is something has interrupted the internet connection. So I'm going to click, which doesn't help being in Suffolk. So I'm going to click refresh here. Now our image had uploaded, but what we didn't manage to complete was the whole sets thing. So let's have a look at our image. We're going to go, we can see it, and that's all uploaded. And you can always download images from this system. If you've uploaded something to your website, you've lost it, you can always go and grab it. But here what we're going to do is we're going to go to sets, and we're going to try and add it into, now we'd successfully added wilderness, and it has been added, the file. So it obviously for some reason it just hung at the end. It does happen, it's unavoidable, and it's not just this CMS, it's just a way of editing. If we're going over the internet, it can get stuck every now and then, but it's not the end of the world. So we're going to click save, and we've uploaded that file to that. Now in this case I had a whole folder. Save me doing that individually. I'm going to take a whole bunch and I'm going to drag them on. They're uploading nice and quickly because I've downsized them so they're smaller. And now again, it's offering me, let's see if we're more successful this time, to add to sets. Now we've already created the set, so we're going to click add and remove sets, and our existing set is an option. Now were there multiple here, you could add a few, so it might be wilderness and it might also be slides or something. And we're going to click save. We've got our notification, and now we've come here and we're going to close it. And all of our images are there, our latest ones. Now what we can do is, because we now have sets, we have the option file set here, and we can see, we could select, so we can always filter. We're going to click search. We could filter down to our sets, which is very useful just to see a specific folder. Now be careful when you revisit this, it's trying to be helpful and it will remember any filters or keywords. So if you want to see all files, you're going to have to click red and get rid of that and click search. Now that way you've got all of your files up into your file manager, and you can do a variety of things then in the website. You may find you want to upload all of your files before you start. So hopefully that's nice and clear.